Hi, and welcome everybody to another episode of the SnA Podcast. As usual, my man Anirudh with me here in the building. We're back, and you know what it is, yeah? We have a big smile on our faces this week, yeah? A massive smile on our faces. Oh, hell yeah, that's what it is, isn't it? Massive smile on our faces, and to just straight away to dive right into the biggest reason of these smiles, yeah? Manchester United has turned a massive corner, or so it looks like, after the Tottenham game. We got thrashed at Old Trafford, but we've come back from that game. We've played Newcastle and beaten them 4-1. After that, a game in which, Ollie seems to have some magic at this place. He went to the Parc des Princes and we grabbed a 2-1 victory over PSG, which, can be said that that could have been even a bigger margin. We followed that up with a draw at home against Chelsea, 0-0, which was kind of underwhelming considering, we were the informed team going in and their keeper, surprisingly, the new one, came up with some good saves. Um, and then we followed that up. Now, this this was a big one, yeah. RB Leipzig, last season's Champions League semi-finalists. A lot of people have been raving about them. Top of the table in the Bundesliga. They roll up to Old Trafford. We haven't won a game at home all season. And we go out and demolish Leipzig 5-0, a team known for their shape, known for their unique strategies. We've gone out and absolutely destroyed them 5-0. So, four good results on the bounce and big smile on our faces. So, Anirudh, man, tell me, what's going on, buddy? What do you think?
It's hard to it was hard like 4 weeks ago to even fathom that we would be sitting here and talking about four extremely good results. I mean, taking Chelsea also as a half a decent result, a 0-0. Newcastle away,
Mm-hmm.
PSG away,
Mm-hmm.
Leipzig home, Chelsea
Mm-hmm.
home, and out of the four games, as I said, Chelsea was underwhelming. The other three were magnificent performances,
Mm-hmm.
right? And to as Lothar Matthäus, suggested that Leipzig shouldn't be scared of Man United given where they are in the table, 15th or something like that, right?
Right,
And then we turn up in the way we did,
right.
and not bad for the PE teacher, not bad at all. Got his team selection absolutely spot on.
Right.
Which I want to bring up the fact that you've mentioned it several times too. Fred and McTominay,
Mm-hmm.
not the best of the lot, not the
Mm-hmm.
most sparkling in midfield.
Mm-hmm.
They get the job done.
Right.
And today I was looking at tweets surfacing where McTominay shouts after we scored the third, was it? You
Yeah.
know, keep the pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Now that is something that is something that is really, really music to my ears.
Right.
And if we carry this momentum, right, who knows what's in store for us, right? It can only be upwards
Right.
with a game in hand in the Premier League.
Right.
So we're now at 5 games,
Mm-hmm.
7 points, right,
Right.
with a game in hand,
Mm-hmm.
and that's against Burnley, if I'm not wrong,
Yes, that is correct.
right? And now we beat. Let's take this. We play Arsenal, and then suddenly we play Burnley, and then we are like 7 and 13, which is probably where some of the top teams are, or the top of the table teams are
Mm-hmm.
right now, given the scheme of things. Everton
Right.
13,
Right.
Aston Villa 13,
Right.
Liverpool are
Right.
probably higher, I think.
I think they
Yeah,
moved
they
ahead today, yeah, after
with
their
the win.
win. Yeah, I
Anyway, no,
think they did
we don't care
14,
about
15,
Liverpool.
something like that, yeah.
We don't care about Liverpool. But as I said, right, it's 2 point deficit for all
Right.
the talk of the negativity and Man United playing some sad shit football.
Right.
Now we're going nowhere. What is the
Right.
PE teacher doing? Why is Van der Beek not starting? And
Mm-hmm.
all of that, right? If, as I said before, right? If these performances are anything to go by, right?
Mm-hmm.
Teams will get scared of Man United.
Right.
And I want to just before I hop over to ask you a
Mm-hmm.
specific question that I had, I would like to point out one name who's okay. Leave the wonder kid
Yeah.
who's literally, you know, taking football by the scruff of the neck and,
Yep.
doing the things that he's doing for the public is just
Mm-hmm.
unreal, right? I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
leave Marcus Rashford out of this, but
Right.
from a purely footballing context, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fred has been outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
PSG, Chelsea,
Right.
Leipzig.
Mm-hmm.
He's been incredible, you know, all these games.
Mm-hmm.
Having said this,
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna, he has much more, he has an equally tougher opponent in Arsenal,
Mm-hmm.
right? Who on their day play really good football. No
Mm-hmm.
credit to Arteta and what
Mm-hmm.
he does, but I want to ask you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is he turning out to be that, that linchpin that we need in
Mm-hmm.
midfield? No matter if you put Matic next to him, you put Dominic next to him,
Mm-hmm.
Pogba, doesn't matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And is he showing the signs of, what, this guy is this guy's talented, man. This guy is really, really now adapted to the Prem. He can
Mm-hmm.
play, and it shows. Right? So, and I want to ask you what your thoughts are about Fred
Mm-hmm.
in general, his
Mm-hmm.
transition, and what you have made out of these three performances, given that we've played against Neymar, we
Mm-hmm.
played against Marcel Sabitzer, we
Mm-hmm.
played against Dayot Upamecano,
Mm-hmm.
right? We played against Timo Werner,
Mm-hmm.
right? We played against Kai Havertz, we played against
Right.
Thiago Silva.
Mm-hmm.
And all these players I've mentioned
Mm-hmm.
have the tag of world class attached to them,
Mm-hmm.
or so it seems,
Right.
right? And Ole even said in the presser that yeah, we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
observe Upamecano. We've been tracking him for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and then Rashford just sends him to the dumps
Yeah. Knock 10 million off his value, innit?
and knock 10 million off his value. Absolutely. And Sanil, I'm just rambling on right now, but I want to add one thing with respect to that and make you feel happy is that Harry Maguire, man. Look at you beaming with pride on about Harry Maguire and the way he's turned up. It's been exceptional, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Man, so couple of players you mentioned that Anirudh, yeah, and I've been talking about both of these players for a long time. You know me, man. I told you the season we signed Fred. I told you probably last season as well. I don't rate Fred. Yeah, I don't rate the man. You know it. I've been talking about it for a very long time. I've been saying I don't rate Fred. I don't think he is a Man United player. I don't think he's this. I don't think he's that. But you know it, man. Right after that Tottenham game got done, and the we were talking about Newcastle and this and that. Man, I texted you. Remember, it has to be Fred and McTominay in midfield. I I
Did it.
I vouched for the reason I vouched for Fred is that like you mentioned before, I've always said this. Fred and McTominay, they're not flashy. They're not they're not people who are gonna dribble past players. They're not gonna take like 30-yard long shots. They're not gonna make like cross-field world-class passes, this and that. But what they give you is solidity. They cement that midfield. They hold it in place. And I mean, to be fair, to be fair play to Fred. I mean, his performance against Newcastle was a bit here and there. It was average, you can say, because he had not had game time and this and that. But then you see how he turned out in Paris. Him and McTominay were absolutely fantastic that night. I mean, PSG had a weakish midfield. We know that. But those two boys got out there and they dominated that midfield, right? You fast forward then to Chelsea. Again, we, we saw Fred making he played simple football, which is what we need at this point. We don't need that ultra flashy stuff, right? We have players ahead who can provide, magical moments. Look at Marcus. I mean, you touched on him. Marcus can. He's just on top of the world right now, and if anyone deserves to be in that position, it's Marcus. I mean, look at the work that boy is doing off the pitch. I mean, he is yeah, that's the correct reaction, man. He is, he's the pride of Manchester right
Manchester.
now. no question about it, and possibly pride of all of UK. But then, so you see this improvement in Fred, right? PSG drops that performance. He comes back out. Chelsea drops a great one, and Leipzig, he was fantastic. Ollie came out and said it. It looked like the boy covered every blade of grass, and I agree. He was everywhere. It was a genuinely fantastic performance, and I personally do believe that Fred is the kind of player that people need to understand what he gives to the team. Yeah, his right foot is poor. He's not a good passer with his
He
right
doesn't
foot.
have a right foot,
He doesn't
according to a
have.
certain son is a very he doesn't have a right foot.
He doesn't. He does. Man, I still stand by it. He doesn't have a right foot. His right foot passing is atrocious. I look at it sometimes and I'm like, oh my God, this boy, what is he doing? But, you know, if he keeps it simple, he keeps that team ticking. Is an important part of the squad. He is for me personally. I mean, I've been like, sell him. If we get 20 million for him, that will be cutting down our losses. But now I see he can be an important part in that midfield, especially along with McTominay, because their chemistry works well together. Fred is not that big, powerful kind of a midfielder, but McTominay is. So McTominay compensate. They complement each other really well and work together very well as a midfield unit. And then they go and allow Bruno Fernandes. They allow Rashford. They allow these attacking players, Greenwood, Martial, whoever is in front of them. They allow them to express their abilities. They allow them to take risks. And that is a big plus for us as a team. So I think Fred is the kind of player that he is a valuable member to the squad now, but he needs to be used correctly, and his expectations have to be set accordingly. You can't expect him to score 20 goals or 15 goals or 10 goals even from midfield. He's not going to do that. But you use him correctly, he's an important part of the squad. And then, like you touched, man, Harry Maguire, yeah. Now, I have said this before that 80 million was an overpayment for Harry Maguire, no question about it, yeah. But it was one of those that in that moment we needed a centre back, we overpaid, we got him. And then all the, he did, I mean, we went from conceding 60 goals to 30 goals with him in the defense. So all that, Greece, I've stuck behind the guy through everything and I always will. I mean, I told you, man, that goal against Newcastle, right? That's what it
You
was.
you you predicted it,
I told you.
Maguire score,
I
and I just want to, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to tell you that day, right before the Newcastle game, I remember you shooting me a text in caps saying that I think, not even I think, right, in caps, Harry Maguire is scoring today. And the goal goes in. And I'm like, I see the text again. It's in caps. I'm like, boy, this guy's gonna be feeling really good today.
No, man, that's the
And
thing, yeah. It's like with Maguire, yeah. It's one of those like I want to back the guy. I mean, the pressure of the price tag is never going to go off of his head, right? 80 million. There is nothing the guy can do to justify 80 million. But what he can do is provide just prove yourself. Put in decent performances, and he has turned up since then. I mean, Newcastle, we conceded through Luke Shaw's own goal, right? PSG, he didn't play because of the knock he took. Chelsea,
right,
he's come out and put up a clean sheet. And then Leipzig, he's come out and put up a clean sheet. Of course, it's not just him, it's a unit that defends together. But you look at it, last 4 games, essentially we've conceded 2 goals and they've both been own goals.
own goals.
So
Right.
since
This
that,
is exactly what I was hinting at. I want to continue.
it-
As a unit, as a defensive unit, right? We played in multiple formations
right,
over 4 games.
right,
We've had a clean directed header as an own goal from Martial.
right,
We've had a deflected own goal from Shaw.
right,
But defensively, we've been very good.
right.
Axel was phenomenal against PSG.
Hmm.
Our entire defense was phenomenal against Leipzig.
Hmm.
Right? And suddenly, out of all things, right? It just
Hmm.
out of straight off the bat, I just think that Man United's right wing problems don't exist anymore.
Yeah, because and that that's a great and Ollie PE teacher, this and that, Norwegian voodoo, say whatever you want to say about the guy. I mean, when he
He's
when his job seems to be on the line here, this guy, I mean, it looks like the team rate him, the players rate him. The minute his job is on the line, you see them perform to 200% levels. And credit to him and his team because they've changed the tactics around a little bit to get around that right wing problem. PSG, we played with that back five here. we played with the back five, but two center forwards. And how long have I been screaming for two center forwards? Yeah, go with the two up front, not the one, two up front. But whatever. Secondary, PSG we did that, and that made a big difference. Martial and Rashford running at you is not simple to deal with. Anybody in the world will agree with that. Those two are good players. It's so that putting they've eliminated the requirement for that right wing by putting two center forwards up front. They did that. I mean, against Chelsea, we tried to revert back, right, with Mata playing in that role. But the thing is, with Mata, is that he comes inside. It's almost like he's an inverted winger, right? And that takes, again, you're taking the width out and you're trying to create to the middle. And with Leipzig, I mean, this is a formation that a lot of people have talked about, and it has been
Diamond?
it has been thrown out there that it will destroy, you can't sustain it. It is not a Premier League formation, this and that. But against Leipzig, it worked
Wonders.
absolutely perfectly. That midfield diamond worked so well with Fred, with
Pogba
McTominay, with Pogba, I
and a
mean,
week.
and Donny, you know,
I was actually really surprised, when I was looking at the team sheet and then
right,
suddenly I see Bruno's not playing. I'm like, oh, what? Uh,
right,
because over the past, like, say, from January to now, right,
right,
we're so used to without Bruno, it feels weird
right,
that a
right.
Man United team without Bruno Fernandes feels extremely weird.
It's like back in the day when you saw the team sheet come out and Rooney wasn't on it, and you're like, hey, wait, hold on, something's wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
who's
why is
who's the
Vaza not
source?
on there? Yeah, why is Vaza not there? Anyone else, it's fine. I mean, there were lineups, right, where Ronaldo could have been benched, where Burpa could have been benched, whoever it was could have been benched. But with Vaza not in there, it was like, oh, something's off. And you always get that scary feeling inside that, now that Vaza is not there, something wrong's going to happen. So I
Exactly.
mean, Bruno's not Vaza yet, but he brings that feeling out where it's like, Bruno's not there. I'm scared, man. This could go south really easily.
And and extending the topic of Fernandes, right? He came on and then that vision, man, to play that pass to Rashford, right? He knew he was playing from behind the
Yep.
halfway line. As a matter of fact, right, I was actually, in the dark about how the rule actually works. So I kind of consulted a friend of mine who's a really good, who has a really
Hmm.
good knowledge about this. So thank you, Ashwin, for that.
Hmm.
So, and that spot, man, to know that your teammate is running behind the halfway line
Right.
is genius.
Right. I
It's an
mean,
absolute genius.
Paul Scholes said in the post match that Bruno was probably the only player on the pitch who could have pulled off that pass, and I agree with Scholes. I mean, I mean, if Scholes is saying it, I mean, you know what it is. Yeah, he's right. He's right about the midfield players. So, but no, you're definitely correct, Bruno. That was a phenomenal pass, and as we picked up Marcus Rashford, I mean, it suddenly looks like we have some players in the squad, and the confidence is coming back, the sharpness is coming back, and looking at all that, man, I think the big one, yeah, another big game. It seems like it's big game after big game. I mean, the next one, it's Arsenal at Old Trafford. We have not won in the league at home yet, which is a big thing. 3 games into the league, yeah, we've lost to Crystal Palace. We got hammered by Tottenham, and we drew against Chelsea at home. Arsenal at home seems like one of those games which is it's almost like a must win already, if you ask me. And
It's
it's a
always a
big
must win against Arsenal, isn't it? Oh, sorry. It's always like a we should win against Arsenal, isn't it?
exactly. I definitely agree, man. It's a historic fixture. It's a rivalry. We fought against them for various titles over the years, and some interesting memories there. Pizzagate, of course. I can Pizzagate. Vieira and Kino. Them two getting at it. Times have changed, of course,
Yeah.
but
Let's name them. It's like a personal bias hitting me right now, or a personal, it's a preference thing hitting right now. But I want to have some of the good memories that we've had. So let me start off. I want to go with what was the score line again? 8-2 was it? Yeah, right. 8-2. We've had that, right? We
right.
demolished them 8-2, and then Robin comes along and he scores against Arsenal, home and away.
Oh man, the Wayne wins the league finally.
Right. Let's get to Okay, let's give them also some credit. Using Danny Welbeck to score against us, score the winner
Yes.
against us,
FA Cup.
FA Cup. And then the Granit Xhaka, the
Hmm.
Mesut Ozils, Alexis Sanchez. We've
Yep.
had some bad times against them
Yep.
recently, at least at the Emirates,
It's at the Emirates, yeah.
but at Old Trafford, we're a solid unit against them. We've always been for as long as I can remember.
Right.
And we've seen quite a few now.
Hmm.
I mean, we look like kids, but yeah, guys, we've actually seen
And
quite
I
a
mean,
bit.
I'll tell you what, yeah, Anirudh, just a quick one to add on to those memories. Yeah, one of the early Manchester United games I remember watching, as a fan of the club, was the 4-2 at Highbury to end the Invincibles. I started back then, and I remember it was like one of those games. It was ManUtd versus Arsenal, as always. The title is reliant and this and that. Of course, neither of the two ended up winning it that year. It was Mourinho's Chelsea, but I remember that year. It was a big fixture. Everyone was talking about it. It was Highbury. The typical fans are in there. They're so close to the touchline, and I mean, we went out there and we beat them at Highbury. We finished we 49 stopped the Invincibles. I think that's one of my most favorite memories against watching Man United play against Arsenal away. But you look at home here, we have not lost to them in the league for 13 games now, I believe. 13 games. We are unbeaten at Old Trafford against Arsenal. And some of them have been games where Arsenal have been, the ones where people have come in to go, like, oh, Arsenal are totally winning it. To point out a very significant one was Marcus Rashford's Premier League debut
Exactly.
right
Yeah,
after the Midtjylland game.
right. I remember it was Van Gaal who gave him his debut, wasn't he?
Hmm. Yep.
Van Gaal gave Marcus his debut. I remember that goal. Yeah,
Yep.
it was
Yeah,
against Arsenal.
at the brace in it, it was Jesse Lingard with the first one on the cross, if I remember correctly. It
And
dropped to
Marcus
him.
with the near post finish, I believe.
Yeah, no, no, no. He slotted it. It hit the keeper's hand and flew in. And the
Right,
second
right,
one was,
right.
and I think the second one was, if you remember, it was Guillermo Varela who put the ball in, and Marcus headed it in far post, and it was like two against Midtjylland and two against Arsenal. It was four.
Correct, correct.
I mean, he just burst onto the scene. So that was like one of those, you know,
Right. And
super
and
memorable moments.
Sanil, from all the good bits, right?
Hmm.
Let's turn our attention to something serious, right? This
Hmm.
Arsenal setup. They've had a roller coaster season till now.
Hmm.
They've won some, they've drawn some, they've lost some.
Hmm.
Leaving all that aside,
Hmm.
right? That team on paper without Mesut Ozil also,
Hmm.
mind you, I still rate the guy. He's
No, I
classy.
still, I agree with you. I still rate Mesut Ozil. I mean,
He's an
Arsenal fans
artist,
talk.
man.
Yeah, I mean, Arsenal fans talk about they don't have creativity. I mean, you got your best player sitting at home tweeting. So, I mean, what do you want
What
me
do
to
you
say? Not your
exactly,
best player, I guess, your highest paid player. But yeah.
right? And without Mesut Ozil, that squad is actually a very, very good squad on paper. Right? You see Thomas Partey,
Hmm.
Aubameyang,
Hmm.
right? Nicolas Pepe,
Hmm.
Bukayo Saka,
Yep, Saka.
right? I'm sorry if I butchered his name, but I think that's his
Yeah,
name.
that's what it is. Bukayo Saka, right? That kid. I mean, great, phenomenal player. I mean, Gabriel.
Gabriel, they have they have Granite. They still have Granite. One of
Hmm.
the Wenger signings,
Yep,
if you would put it that way.
yep.
So
Lacazette.
that's it. Like I said, I don't rate Lacazette, man. I mean, with all due respect, get out of there. So I'm actually very, very, positive about the game in front, but I think we need to be wary of Arsenal's, you know,
Hmm.
squad
Their threat,
with the
yeah.
addition of Thomas Partey, with the addition of with the Gabriels, especially in set pieces,
Strong in the air, that boy.
was strong in the air, absolutely. And they have Kieran Tierney,
Yes, Tierney, yes.
Hector Bellerin. It's a good squad, man.
Yeah.
It's a really good squad. It's not something that to be taken lightly. Um, I just want us to respect the opponent, but not give them too much respect. It's Arsenal at the end of the day. I mean, with all the memes going around saying it's only Tottenham lads, we know our rivalry with Arsenal.
I don't want to say stuff like that, man. I don't want to say stuff like it's only Tottenham. The last time I did, we got absolutely destroyed. So I really just I don't want to say stuff like that. So
Absolutely. So, and I want to ask you, right, as a perfect segue into the game,
hmm
w- just briefly, what do you think about the game? What do you think our approach will be?
hmm
I know, you know, we all think that Oli will put in a very positive approach, that players will turn up for another game.
hmm
But as you mentioned before, we still haven't won at Old Trafford this season yet. Arsenal at home,
hmm
perfect opportunity to, open the account for the
hmm
season at home. And it's just going to be onwards and upwards. And I want to get your thoughts, complete thoughts on
Yep.
what do you think about the game,
hmm
what do you think about the players that they
hmm
have, and what do you think will be the outcome of the game. And so it's like you can wrap up the entire
Yep.
game in a nutshell.
Yep.
So
Man,
go
so
for it.
like I said, man, I think it's a must-win game for us. I want our players to come out with, put in your 100, put in 100%. Yeah, we need the win at Old Trafford. We have a good record against them. They're definitely a top side, like you mentioned. And I think the approach from the players is simple. Yeah, carry on the momentum that we have. We played good attacking football. We have defended solidly, and that I think is a very important factor for us. We need to defend strongly, and considering all that, I want to talk about, like we always do. Yeah, I want to segue into the lineup, right? I would want us to go with. I think David actually. I mean, he's been a topic of discussion. Last few games, he has been top quality. People can say that oh, it's a standard save. He does it for the cameras. This and that. I don't
Get
care.
out of here.
I don't give a shit about what people says, mate. I don't give a shit about what you think. David has been phenomenal. The save against Callum Wilson at Newcastle was fantastic. Mbappe against PSG, and
Di
I mean
Maria's color.
Di Maria's curler, yes, definitely against Leipzig. It was Ibrahim Konate's header from almost 2 yards out, and that was a fantastic save. So David's been in form. I mean, he slots into goal for sure. The formation is the one where there is discussions. Do we go with the back five? Do we go with the four? And I personally look at this, and if I'm Ollie here, yeah, don't change too much from the Leipzig game. It worked. It worked perfectly. Don't change too much from it. Stick with that formation, stick with that attitude, stick with that mentality. I mean, back four, yeah, stick with it. Aaron at right back. I mean, Telles is out, COVID. I hope he I hope he recovers
Get
soon.
well soon,
Yeah,
Alex.
get well soon, Alex. We want to see you more on the pitch, man. Coming from me, that's big, in it. But
You mean us. You mean
yeah,
us.
I
We
know,
share the
right? Coming
same
from us,
thought about Alex Telles.
coming from us, it's big. But get well soon, mate. We want to see you more on the pitch. Quickly, just to run through it, the back four. I mean, I would stay unchanged. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Victor's been putting in a good shift too. So Victor, Harry, Lindelof, Maguire, and Luke Shaw. That midfield is the crucial one. And again, like I said, don't change too much around. Um, I think Fred and McTominay pick themselves at this point, the way those two have been playing. They need to be in there for sure. Bruno comes in, no question about it. Bruno comes in for sure. I think the contesting decision is between Pogba and Van de Beek, that who gets the start and who doesn't. And you know what it is here? Donny had a pretty good game midweek. I think Paul finished. Paul did get substituted, but a little later. I mean, I personally, it's one of those. I want Donny to start in there, man. I want that midfield to be Bruno, Donny, Fred, and McTominay, just because I feel like that would be, that would give us good options. And Donny's one-touch play is excellent. He gets into good, dangerous positions, and he's someone who can, find those pockets in that Arsenal defense, rather than Paul, who's more. Pogba is more like flashy, dribble, and this and that. We don't need that. We just need to find the correct pockets to try and exploit this Arsenal team. And I think Donny might be suited better to that. And up front, I mean, it's the two center forwards is what I would go with. Marcus again, no question about Marcus. He starts in there, on the back of the hat trick. Thank God I don't have to hear that stat anymore. ManUtd's last hat trick was this, last hat trick was that. Martial finished it in the league last year, and Marcus now in the Champions League. I think Marcus starts, and with considering Martial is suspended, you know what? Yeah, throw the ball in, Mason. I
Yeah,
want.
Mason.
I just feel that Mason got the goal against Leipzig as well. He was good in that front too. So yeah, I mean my lineup would basically be put the same formation as Leipzig. Go with Bruno, McTominay, Fred, especially in midfield. Donny versus Pogba. I give the edge to Donny, but I would not be too sad if Paul started. And up front, yeah, Marcus and Mason. I think that team has enough in it to trouble Arsenal and get break them down. And one thing that we always like to point out is the danger man for the opposition. And normally it's always like a player here, a player there. We try to figure it out. But I think in Arsenal's case, it's pretty simple. I know he has not scored a league goal this season yet. I know that's the case, but that man, he's dangerous. Yeah, he gets on it. He can rip us apart. He's quick. He is the kind of player our defense is scared of. I mean, you know,
Pierre?
Pierre. He's the one that I'm scared about. Scored at OT last season as well. So, he's the one I would point out as the danger man. Yeah. So tell me, Anirudh. Yeah, before we go into score predictions, you tell me, man. What do you think about the lineup and their danger man?
You know what, Sanil? I want to tell you one thing, right? I've followed Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang since he was at Saint Etienne.
Mm-hmm.
Saint Etienne to Borussia Dortmund to Arsenal. When he was at Saint Etienne, right?
Mm.
I think I pointed out in one of the groups on Facebook, I think, right? Sign up Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And I even pointed out in one of the groups in Facebook in 2013, right? Sign up Roberto Firmino, right? These guys, I mean, I'm not bringing Firmino into the conversation. Get out of here, right? Scouser, right? Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is, for me, is in my eyes, a beautifully, astute center forward. Right? His play, his touches, the way he finesses the ball, right? You don't find that many, and he's a natural. Right. But I'm not going to rave about him because he's playing for Arsenal. And yes, for me, likewise, I'm going to start with my player to watch out for. It's Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, without a shadow of a doubt. And I agree with you when don't change a lot from the Leipzig game. The good game, the 11 who played well, right? But I would make one change, and Bruno comes back. And I know he played only 30 minutes. That is a big rest, and I know for a fact that we managed pretty well without Bruno, like for the first 70 minutes. That is a good testament to how Donny van de Beek plays.
Agree. Yes.
Right.
That is a great point right there.
Right, and that is a really good testament to how Donny van de Beek plays and the way he approaches the game. And I'll tell you one last thing, Sanil. It's so heartwarming, it's so refreshing to see Juan Mata start games in the Premier League.
Right.
I never did. I'm going to write and give it to you, right? I'm going to give it to you in writing. 95% of the fan base, if you ask, should Juan Mata start against Chelsea? They would have said no, he's finished. He's too slow.
Right.
But he did. He started the game.
Right.
Played well. Right. And he's been incredible for us.
Right.
Whenever he's played.
Right.
But I'm just putting it out there about my point about Juan Mata playing and all of that.
Right.
So I wouldn't be too fussed if either Pogba or Van de Beek play at this moment in time because the team's gelling well. That's the main thing.
Right.
Right. And I agree with you. Throw the kid in there, yeah. Throw the kid in there. Because that guy's finishing is so natural. He's just born to finish, man.
Right.
And the last guy I saw at United who was like literally born to finish and just left us, probably. Right? We had Rooney.
Right.
We had Ibrahimovic.
Right.
Natural finishers. We had Ronaldo.
Right.
We had Berbatov.
Van
Persie.
Right.
And if I have to go to a left foot finisher, I would actually go way back only to Robin Van Persie. Because after that, who did we have?
Nobody on the left foot, yeah.
Exactly. And he's such a natural man. Left foot, right foot, doesn't matter, right? He knows where the goal is.
Right.
Right. So I'm saying 4-2-3-1, Diamond. Although I would start Rashford on the wing.
Mhm. So then not going with a diamond then? Because if he's coming off the left, yeah, that's the one. I mean, my whole point is, yeah, Nirud, like I said, the reason I mentioned the diamond is I just don't want to change too much from Leipzig. I know that, Ollie might be thinking about it, but it's interesting because Arsenal's defense does struggle against pace. Jamie Vardy did score that goal off the bench. So that's the reason I want to go with the
So
two
you
up
want to
front.
go with a 4-1-2-1-2 then? Interesting.
Yeah, 4-4-2 with a diamond in the middle. I mean, I want
That
Rashford. I mean,
works.
I just want to do that because I want two up front. Yeah, that's the big one.
I think it clearly works for this game.
Hmm.
So we're talking about Mason and Rashford.
Hmm.
Okay, let's give the manager some respect. Mason and Marcus
Hmm.
up front,
Yep.
Bruno behind them,
Hmm.
and behind them I'll have um, either Donny or Pogba
Hmm.
with Fred with McTominay
Right.
sitting. Or I would
Right.
swap either. It doesn't matter.
Right.
And do you know what? I'm gonna go with you on this one.
Hmm.
Let the back four play. We've been playing well.
Right. Right.
I'm not gonna whine about my back four like every single week.
Some stability, man. It's been a while since we have stability in that defense. I mean, if they're doing it, might as well just let them do it, innit?
Exactly. Eric, as much as I love you every single week,
He's injured.
stay injury fit, man.
He's injured. It's so sad, dude. He's out for what, 3-4 weeks again. I mean,
That damn muscle strain. Anyway, that's my that's my formation. I mean, I'm more
yep.
or less going with what you're gonna say, what you're saying, right? And
Mhm.
let's just let's just keep it crisp, shall we? So,
Yeah.
what are your
Yeah.
predictions for the game?
Predictions, man. You know what it is, yeah. I think it's still going to be a tight game. I don't expect it to be an easy win. I don't expect anything. I think it's going to be tight. I don't know. It's just one of those. You know what, Anirudh, man? I go with a. I see you nodding. Yeah, I see you nodding, but I got to stick with. You defended all right, isn't it? A 1-0 or a 2-1. That's what I'm going with. I do see your point, man. But you know what it is, yeah. I think we will get. I think Marcus gets on the score sheet.
Again,
Um, Again, yes. What is it now? Uh, five goals in the last 4 games or more. One against Newcastle, one against Paris, three. Yeah, five,
five
five
five in
goals,
the last
five
five in the
goals
last
and
four.
2 assists. Yeah, 5 goals and 2 assists in the last 4. So yeah, Marcus gets on the score sheet again, I believe. So their attack does threaten. Saka. Considering they go and Arteta does have that possession based football that he tries to play. I think it's going to be tight, man. 1-0, 2-1, 2-1. Yeah, let's go 2-1, 2-1.
You know, 2-1 is your prediction. You know why I've been like nodding my head
Yeah,
sideways is that I'm positive, man. What is
you're
this
positive.
2-1? We're gonna thrash Arsenal.
Ah,
We're gonna go like 3-0.
3-0,
I'm gonna go 3-0. Flat out.
3-0.
I'm gonna text you
Who's
3-0.
cool?
Text you 3-0. Right? I'm
Oh,
gonna
mate.
Rashford's gonna score.
Uh-huh,
Bruno's gonna score. And I'm gonna
uh-huh,
give a brace to Bruno.
uh-huh. Brace to Bruno.
Yeah, brace to Bruno, Rashford with the
The-
goal.
what? It was the Arsenal fan base that started with the whole Fernandes thing in it. So it'd be nice if
Useless.
Bruno did that. Yeah, I totally get behind it. Yeah,
Yeah, give Bruno a couple of goals. Open play.
open play.
Open play. Right? I'm gonna go 3-0, man.
All right.
And the moment, I'm hoping the moment we go 3-0 up, I'm gonna be like, told you so. But
I,
if we do, win 2-1,
mhm.
and we always hope for a Man United win.
Yeah, that,
Nothing different.
that's what
Week
it
in,
is.
week out.
3 points, isn't it?
Yeah, week in, week out, Man United win.
Yep.
All I say is, you can tell me 2-1. You were right about Maguire, but I don't want you to be right about us
I
conceding goals.
trust me, mate. I don't either. If my 2-1 is proven wrong and your 3-0 is proven right, I'll be as happy as you are at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Jumping
That's
with
that,
joy.
that's what matters to me, man. It's more than my prediction, more than my, you
Yeah,
know,
it's all about us,
it's
us
about Man
winning.
United playing well and winning. So, with that being said, Anirudh, as always, get in, boys. Come on,
Come on,
United.
United.
Come on, let's do this, yeah. Come on, boys. Let's do it. Come on.